Another question here. Iman from Egypt. Okay, she wears the abaya and wears the hijab, but does not cover her face, obviously. And someone told her that it is obligatory for her to wear the niqab to cover her face.
The issue of covering the face is a matter that's been disputed between the scholars. We cover this issue repeatedly, and I normally prefer that whenever we discuss this issue, I present the two views. If I come to you and I say it is obligatory to cover the face to a woman, that means if you don't cover the face, you're a sinner. And I just disregarded the other view completely. But if somebody who's studying and believed in the other view and adopted that, then he is, or she is, if her husband is assisting her to make the decision, they are adopting a valid view, which has been adopted by numerous scholars. So I would not say it is obligatory. I would say it is, in this view, mandatory or obligatory. There is another view which says covering the entire body except for the face. What do I myself believe? I believe you should adopt this view. But the other view is valid as well, and I would not consider a woman who's not covering her face a sinner, because she's adopting a valid view of the scholars as well. And until the Day of Judgment, these two views will be available. There is a very interesting thing that's worthy of mention here, which is the scholars who said that it is not necessary for a woman to cover her face. It is merely recommended or mustahab. They adopted this view. They said, but behold, in case of fearing the fitna and the temptation, if the sister is pretty, has a beautiful face, or if we're living in such a horrible time where people just, look at women in their faces and so on, in this condition, she should cover her face. So we find the two schools have met at this point, that if you believe there is a fitna, then that means there is a general consensus between all the scholars and the schools that covering the face becomes mandatory, not just mere recommended. And to solve this problem for every woman who's trying to make that decision, you're definitely, by doing so, copying the best role models, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, and his daughters, and the wives of the companions. The dispute of some people who misinterpret the verse and say, but guess what? Allah commanded that only on the wives of the Prophet and his daughters. I say this is an invalid dispute, simply because Allah said, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu, qul li azwajika wa banatika, and what is the third? وَنِسَاءِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يُدَنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَّ ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَنْ يُعْرَفْنَ فَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ. So the command of hijab in general, or a veil, was, O the messenger or the prophet of Allah, tell your wives, your daughters, and the women of the entire ummah to lower their garments or their veils upon them. So no one of the women is exempt, except القواعد من النساء. Those who are very old women, they find difficulty wearing the veil or covering their face. In addition to, there is no attraction whatsoever in them, and they have reached an age where they do not even expect to get married. So there is no fitna. In this case, they are permitted not to wear this veil or cover their face in order to make it easy for them, since the fitna does not exist anymore.
Thank you, Sheikh.